Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss about criticism against Lamarckism. Lamarckism is a simple and straightforward explanation. Moreover, there are instances in which organisms get adapted to their environments and mode of life. Also, there are instances in which constant use and disuse modify characters. So, Lamarckism theory gained initial acceptance mainly because of the genetic mechanisms of inheritance were not elucidated at that time. However, it is not free from shortcomings and criticisms. Some objections raised against Lamarckism. The first postulate, namely, the tendency of organisms to increase in size, is not universally applicable. There are instances in which evolutionary process involves reduction in size. And the second one is formation of a new organ results from a new need. It is not true. Lamarck thought that change of habits may invite new needs, which in turn may initiate the formation of a new organ or may modify the existing organs. Suppose a man has ardent and long desire or internal drive to fly. Does this man he can develop wings? That was the criticism against the second postulate. And the third one is Lamarck's third postulate, that the theory of use and disuse. The constant use of an organ causes wear and tear and considerably reduces its efficiency in the long run. So it is inconceivable that constant use or disuse will cause a heritable change in an organ. And the fourth one is the inheritance of acquired characters is the cardinal aspect of Lamarckism. Genetic evidences do not support this concept. And the last one is Lamarckian theory explains the improvement of a character but does not explain its utility at the initial stage. The first deadly blow to the concept of inheritance of acquired characters was from August Weismann, who proved beyond doubt that acquired characters and adaptations are not at all heritable. In one of his experiments, he went on cutting the tail of rats continuously for many generations, but never a tailless rat or a rat with a stumpy tail were born. Weismann differentiated the body of a material into somatoplasm, somatoplasm in somatic or non-sexual body cells, and germplasm. He advanced the germplasm theory, which upholds the continuity of germplasm and maintains that environmental forces and influences affect only the somatoplasm and not the germplasm. Germinal modification are heritable, but somatic modification are non-heritable, since they perish with the death of the organisms, and acquired characters are only changed in the somatoplasm and hence are not heritable. Weismann totally discarded the Lamarckian theory of inheritance of acquired characters on the ground that acquired characters are somatic in origin and hence are not heritable. According to him, heritable modifications are not acquired from use and disuse or from environmental influence but are inborn and germinal in origin. Now we are moving to Neo-Lamarckism. What is meant by Neo-Lamarckism? Neo means new. Neo-Lamarckism is a modified and extended version of Lamarckism. It seeks to counter objections raised against the correctness, validity, and acceptability of Lamarckism. It is essentially maintains that genetic changes acquired may be influenced and directed by environmental factors, and to some extent certain acquired characters are heritable. The term Neo-Lamarckism is a grouping of legally diverse post-Lamarckian theories and mechanisms. Some of the experiments in support of the inheritance of acquired characters are the following, that is, Kammerer's experiment, F.B. Sumner's experiment, M.C. Dougal's experiment. First one is Paul Kammerer's experiment. Paul Kammerer conducted experiment on the coloration of Salamandra maculosa. This salamander has black skin with yellow patches. He kept two sets of adult salamander, one set in yellow box and second set in black box for 4 years. One set in yellow box gradually increased in size and merged together, forming thick yellow bands. The other pair kept on a black box became still blacker with much reduced yellow patches. Mating of these forms produced black salamanders. And the next experiment. This is the picture of that experiment. This is the initial one that kept in two boxes. This was the yellow box and this was in the black box. Next experiment. Sumner found that the body, tail and hindlimbs of the mice reared under warm conditions would be longer than those of the mice reared in cold conditions. He would also find that this character would be inherited by succeeding generations so long as the temperature and other environmental conditions remained the same. Rat rearing at high temperature. Rat rearing at low temperature. We can see the rat's tail. Next one is M.C. Dougal's experiment on rats. William M.C. Dougal conducted a series of experiments with white rats to study the inheritance of learning behavior. Learning is an acquired character and not an instinctive behavior. He put white rats in water tank, providing two escape routes, one dark and one lighted. The lighted route was supplied with an electric shock. Through trial and error attempts, the rats gradually learned to avoid the dangerous lighted route. He allowed these trained rats to mate and provide the same condition to their progeny. He concluded that the acquired learning behavior has been inherited by the offspring. At around the same time, Ivan Pavlov could make similar observation in animals that were subjected to conditional reflex experiments. He claimed that with each generation, the animals became easier for conditioning. However, M.C. Dougal and Pavlov could not suggest a mechanism to explain the observations. Dougal's experiment was repeated by Agar, Drummond, and Tigers. They obtained only somewhat irregular results regarding the frequency of errors. This was the experiment conducted by M.C. Dougal. Present status of Lamarckism. In the light of current information, it can be included that Lamarckism is complete in itself, and it is incapable of explaining all evolutionary changes. Still, it holds good to some extent to explain that morphological features result from an interaction between genetic factors, environmental factors. In other words, the development of an adaptive modification involves an interplay of genes and environment. Environment has some role in the development of a character. In the long evolutionary history of life, organisms are exposed to changing environmental conditions. Under such circumstances, the respective genes become active and express themselves. In other words, appropriate environmental conditions provide the necessary stimulants for the expression of genes. Lamarck had no knowledge of these genetic mechanisms, and so he considered adaptive modifications as acquired heritable characters. Thank you.